today we will do really a basic training in which we will see how to build from zero an application in Key4. Okay, so before starting, I wanted to share with you some training material. Okay, so I sent you the slide so it will be easier to follow. In the last slide, we also have a SQL database and some queries as to do the exercises. If you want, we can do the exercises on your side. Otherwise, I will do the exercises for you. Let me know which way you prefer.
Like on our side, you mean like everyone does them for themselves, or how?
Yes. So I don't know. Did you give access to Key4 to all of the folks in this
Yes,
room?
they have access to the K4
Okay.
hub. Yeah.
Did you receive the training material?
I received them. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Yes.
can you please share your screen for a second?
Yeah. I'm
So
gonna start.
we do something to prepare the training session. In my opinion, it's more effective if everybody can do the exercises. From remote, it's always a little bit tricky to do this, but we will try it. So if you take the PowerPoint and go to the last slide.
Yes. 1 second. Okay.
Okay, download the zip file.
Where?
Wherever you want. Double click queries_ndb.zip.
Ah. Okay, that's a cool feature.
I also didn't know that was possible.
Okay.
Open this up, yeah.
Okay. Put it somewhere. So extract it. You have 7-zip, so extract it somewhere.
Like this.
It would be better if you do it from somewhere that you have access to SQL Server, okay? Because we will use SQL Server Management Studio today.
Okay, that I don't know where I should save it then to. Do you know, Moritz, or anybody of you?
I don't. I think neither of us has access to our SQL server directly, like to the file directory.
No. You have Management Studio in your local, correct?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
It should be enough to have it on your local. If not, I will script the database as a query so that you can just take the SQL statement and run it if it doesn't work with the backup file. So it's just to prepare. So there's 5 of us. In my opinion, it would be good to create 5 copies of this database.
Okay, so I should upload it like to our locally.
No. First of all, they open SQL Server Management Studio.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I will do something even easier. I will give you the script.
Loading.
Not because I'm giving you something even easier. I will give you a SQL file, so it will be easier to create copies of the database. I think each of you should open SQL Server Management Studio for the training, because now Julian is doing it, but later on, everybody.
I'm already logging into the VPN.
Okay.
Yeah, true. I'm doing it just in case too.
Do we have enough users for this database, or shall we do it locally?
You can, if you want, you can locally. You can't, because I don't think that Key4 can access your local file. So RTB training. You already have my restore Key4 training. Let me send it to you again.
So shall we connect to this SQL server, all of us?
Yes, I sent you a script file .sql, okay, that contains a script that will generate the starting point of the database. I don't know if you received the email, okay? The name of the database is Key4_training, but each of you can create a database with a different name. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that we work in parallel, because part of the exercise is to create tables and views on the database. So it's important that we do not overlap. So Julian, did you receive the file that I sent you?
Yes, I received the file.
So now connect to the database we access usually from Key4.
This one, right, Moritz?
Don't ask me.
That's right.
Okay. It's a very trivial database, the one that I sent you. It's basically few tables. So create a new database. So right click, new database.
Here, new database.
Oh, it's in German. For me, it will be today. It will be hard for me.
Okay. Do you think I should switch it? I should switch it to English?
No, you're not the first one. And then I rely on the appearance. Okay.
Yeah. It's a German course for you today.
Yes, of course. Not the easiest language for me. Okay, so now give it a name. So everybody can do the same that Julian is doing. So database name, Key4_training _1. So each of you pick a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or put your name _Julian, and
I'm
everybody
putting my
puts
initials.
Yeah. So if everybody does the same, it will be easier. Okay.
Julian, can you please put the server number in the chat? And
yeah.
I don't know if we can use the same user, everyone, because I don't know.
I'm also not sure, but when Julian logged in, he didn't kick me out. So
okay.
I'm optimistic.
Okay.
You can on SQL Server.
And maybe you can just send the password via mail.
Yeah, Do you know the
Likely this
password,
is not.
Moritz?
Yeah, I've got it.
Or is it
Okay.
Windows Authent? No, I don't think so.
Oh, no.
Does anyone else need it except for Dana? I think I'll just write you on Teams
Yeah,
individually.
fine.
Louis, Andreas, do you also need the password?
No, I'm already logged into the server.
Okay. Perfect.
Did everybody receive the SQL file?
Yes.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so create the database, Julian.
Mm-hmm. I typed in this and then on.
Yeah, so these keep it default. It's not important. It's a small database that.
So just okay.
Yeah.
To confirm.
Okay. Now take the database. It should be the last one. Do new query. Right click new query. Okay. And paste the SQL script that I sent you.
Means I don't
In
know.
email, you have a file
A dot
.sql.
SQL tile, yeah. Like just open it with Notepad or so, and
you can open. You can also double click. It will open with Management Studio if you prefer.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So just double click
is
on
everybody
this.
on this page? Because all you need to do now is to remove the first row, the first line of the script that use key for training. This is my part. Remove that line, delete it. Okay. Is everybody at this point?
Yes.
No.
Not
No?
yet.
Okay.
I
Waiting.
just double clicked this file, opened it with server. SQL Server Management Studio.
Okay. I'm also at the same point.
Okay.
Does anybody see my screen, or should I scale it down to full HD?
I see your screen just fine.
Okay.
Except for the Explorer window that's blocking the view from.
Oh.
We deleted the first line, or did we change it to our?
No, because you take the user. Just ensure that in the drop-down menu on top left, there is the name of your database. So Julian has a key for training, whatever.
Yeah.
And you should have your initials there. Okay. So once you are sure that this will happen, click on Run, Julian, please. So okay.
Yeah.
Click on Run. It will take some time because it needs to do some inserts, but it will eventually finish in less than 1 minute. Okay.
I'm not so fast. Did you just create the K4 training database empty and then you run all those scripts, or?
Yes, that's what we do. So
Okay,
it will create tables.
Okay, Julian, when you're ready, you can just copy it and I rename it for me.
Julian is done. So basically, now if you expand tables and refresh, you should see 5 tables, 5 or 6. I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, six tables.
So there are 5-dimension table and 1 fact table. So very basic. So okay.
Okay,
Cool.
for Dana, should I do something now, or is it?
Can you just duplicate this one and then
You mean
I
the
don't have to do
database?
all these scripts? Is it possible?
I don't know how to duplicate.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
it's or create it also for her. Just
I can create it for you too,
yeah,
Dana.
new database, and then
Thanks.
we run the script changing the
Okay.
drop-down menu.
Oh man.
Okay.
DKL, right?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Is
Magst du mich auch
anybody
bitte nochmal?
Okay.
change
just-
from the drop-down on top or copy-paste?
Yeah, you can do it like
You
this.
can copy-paste.
True. Yeah, just
Für
do
dich
it.
auch, Andreas?
Ja, bitte.
Ja,
Auf wo
dann
stehe, wie heißt die denn, die Datenbank? Weil ich habe gerade eine angelegt, aber das Skript läuft nicht durch. Und wo sind wir denn?
weiß ich gerade nicht. Also ich könnte dir die jetzt.
Nee, sag mal,
Mhm,
Julian, wie
das
heißt die
ist-
Datenbank, die neue?
Ich habe jetzt selber eine erstellt, die K4-Training mein Kürzel. Und dann habe ich da das Skript ausgeführt in der Datenbank, was wir per E-Mail bekommen haben.
Alles klar.
Okay.
Und das machst du jetzt für Dana und für mich auch gleich noch, ne?
Ja, ich kann es für dich auch machen. So Dana's worked too.
Thank you.
It's no problem. It's just practice for me, so.
Okay.
And one for Andreas K4. AMR?
Ja.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That should be the last one. Yeah.
Okay. So perfect. So we will start with the training. Because we don't start with the exercise. This will be used later on. This is only a simulation. So the training we start. I will show you a quick demo of Key4. So we will see what is our target to build with our software. After seeing the small demo, we start with the agenda, where we start with some description of the architecture of Key4. Then we see how to prepare the SQL database to be used in Key4. So we will transform this basic database in something that is usable from Key4. And then we will start building our visual objects, so models of type spreadsheet and other types, master table, static and dynamic. After that, we will start to see how to filter data, how to run store procedure, and then some visual properties. But before starting with the training, I will show you, let me share my screen, a quick demo of why we use Key4. So what you see now is Power BI, a typical Power BI document in which you have your reports, your dashboards. So we usually go, let me go within view, to customers where they have some dashboards, they want to build things like that. So they get some insights of their actual data, they do their analysis, they do whatever they need to do. But in the end, when it comes to the end of the project, the next step is, okay, very cool, I see my visual, I can filter, I can slice my data, but I want also to plan. So moving to the next screen of this Power BI document, we see another Power BI screen where we have this custom visual, spreadsheet like, that is showing a P&L. This visual has been built with Key4. The Key4 visual looks like a P&L. It's integrated inside Power BI. It reacts to filters. So if I select only one store, it will refresh data. And it allows to write back. The white cells here are taken from Power BI data. The blue cells are read directly from the SQL, and it's possible to write them back. For example, if I take this Somerville store that is with revenue is 5 million, I put to 20 million, for example, and I save. This data will be pushed on SQL, and Power BI will show the change here. So Somerville was in 5th position, now is in 2nd position, etc. Not only we can write back, select, etc. We have also some functionality of writing on the algorithm. So here I have a growth of this cost of 72%. I want to spend at most 50% more. Once I save, this one will be sent on SQL as well. I can also decide to do something a little bit different. So I can lock some cells and change the total cost of this group of expenses to 2 million. I keep on going doing my training. So this is the type of visuals we are going to build today. What else we can do? We can also decide, for example, to drill to more details. So I can drill, for example, by product category and see the same income breakdown by the same. I move to full screen with Power BI skills, and I can see, for example, the monthly detail. Let me change the zoom a little bit. So I can decide, for example, to change this number to be equal to the previous month, and or equal to the previous month plus 2. I can copy this formula around. When I change this one to the source data, the formula accordingly changes. So I have an experience that is really like Excel. The formula you're seeing are basically used in play mode, transformed into data, and written into SQL. I can also decide to write a formula on the fly on a free cell, for example, some of these numbers, for example, and change the result. This will write back on the cells that I used to write the formula, etc. I can decide to lock some of the cells like these and change some total, so 15 million or so. This will change only the free cells, both by row and by column, whatever. I save. Once I save, the new total of 147 million and something is the same I see in the P&L.
So I have a question. So if you write, you go to the SQL database and overwrite the data, or you make a new data set, or what?
We override the data. We override the data, but we will see it later on during the training. Here I'm writing on budget while actual data is locked, because as you can see, there are some cells that can be edited and some are not. This can be hard-coded, like in this case, where actual data cannot be edited because it's taken from Power BI, but can also be something that depends on the status of the data. So let's assume we have some workflow. Here I have a parameter to show some workflow, and each row has a different status. If I enter with a row that is not administrator, and I simulate it with this button now, but usually I read it from the user itself, from Power BI, you will see that some rows are locked, some other are free. So this allows us to generate some sort of workflow. So as a user, for example, I can change the other expenses to whatever 3 millions. So 3 millions. Okay, and change the status to submitted once I save. Oh, I made a mistake, sorry. Yes, sorry. I can't in this case because I am on the demo environment in which I cannot simulate the user. But once I submit, then the approver is the one that then I cannot change. I can also change whatever is submitted and so on. So here, this is a basic PNL. I can change the details by row. So when I drill the human capital, I go to a different drill in this case, in which I see the details by employee. So other than seeing the simple drill by product category, each row can represent a different planning process. In this case, I'm planning the employee status, and here I have a screen in which I'm seeing salaries and bonuses for all my employees. Once I change it, I can change this to 15 millions of 15K, for example, and start playing with these. Do the usual lock and spread, so 300K, etc. And back, data is all connected. When I come back, this one changes accordingly. So how did I achieve this? So basically,
if you drill down, you make it really quickly. You have it in the context menu, or how it works to drill down?
The drill down works that will bring the selections that I have here, so the context, plus the one of the cell. So if I drill down this cell, so I drill by store, since I'm in the United States, I will see only American stores. And if I check the total is the 147 million, that is the one that comes from the row that I selected. But if I drill down, let's say 2 cells like this and this, doesn't make much sense, but I will do cost and income, and I drill by store, you will see that the total will be 183 million. That is the sum of the 2 accounts that I selected, because it's bringing the selection of the selected cells. So if I take these, and I drill again by store, 13 millions is the sum of 4 plus 6 plus almost 3, so 13 million something. I have it here. I can also do horizontally. So if I drill the human capital, keeping both scenarios, actual and budget, in this case, I will see data for both actual and budget, because I'm bringing in the drill, so I see also the actuals, that is here. I'm also bringing the selection of the cells in this case. So I have also the delta, whatever I want. So, but before flying and arriving to build a nice PNL, etc., we need to work. And today we will learn how to work, okay? And then step by step, we will come to, at the end of this training, to embed the application in Power BI.
I have a question.
Yes.
This is a pretty nice demo. Is there a possibility to have access to it?
Yes, I can share it with you. Honestly, it's not completed, but as soon as it is, I will share it with you, because I need to give you a subset, because I have only the first 4 screens that are working, and then the other ones are only placeholder for future development.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
But yes.
And I also have a question. I have a Qlik demo coming up next week, and do you also have this demo for Qlik or for Power BI only?
I have this only for Power BI, but it's not this part inside the orange box. Is very easy to move on Qlik, because we just need to. This is something for later on in the training, but you like spoilers in this course. So when you embed a model into Power BI, you simply give server name, model name, and some connection details, keys, password, or single sign-on. Okay, so this is all you need to do. So plus which entities you want to use to filters, etc. If we want to have this in Qlik, all we need to do is to take the same demo, import the extension in Qlik, and put this URL and this model inside Qlik. So it will be really 2 clicks. The part that I do not have ready in Qlik is all the surrounding part, that is slicers,
yeah, sure,
pie charts, etc. But basically, the source data should be very easy, because I only took a single table in SQL, a single view, to create all the objects. So probably it's a one-day work to migrate this to Qlik. But let's see. Probably we will see if at the end of the course we can do this together, or I give you the way to put the key for object and you do the rest. We can choose.
Yeah, that would be perfect, because I'm preparing the demo with like old demos from 2021, and this one looks much better.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so let's move on, and let's go to the training. So I was saying the agenda. So the introduction will be about the architecture. Then we will prepare the SQL database. The exercise we did before to take the SQL database has created a database that is not ready for Key4. It's a database that contains 4, 5, 6 tables, but we need to make it ready for Key4 by building the Key4 views that are our metadata to tell, hey, this table is for Key4. Then we will use the Key4 Studio to connect to the SQL server that we have, and we will see how to tell Key4 this is the metadata we are going to use. At that point, we will be ready to create our first model. So we take the model, that we take the software, and we start to build a master table that is the most basic model we can create. When I say model, is basically the visual that present data to the users and allows the write back. Then we will see how to create a static spreadsheet model. So like the PNL I was showing you. So we always have the same rows, and then a dynamic row spreadsheet, like the employee part, on which I have rows that are dynamically calculated given data. Now we will see how to enrich our model with extra measures, attributes to allow filtering, etc., and how to allow aggregated data entry. Second part will be about the context. The context is that feature that we use to filter data, like the menu on the left. We see how to retrieve the parameters into the configuration of Key4 and into the spreadsheet itself. Then we'll see how to read parameters from a cached table. At that point, we will focus on the launchpad, how to run a procedure from Key4. So this is something I had to show you in the demo, but given so this part. From here I can run a procedure from Key4. There are some requirements to run a procedure, and how to inherit some parameters from the context. At that point, we will have we will see our visual properties. So how to change colors of the cell, show the scroll bar, side the toolbar, all the things that are used to format our model. Last, we will see how to embed in Power BI, so what we have seen now, and how to retrieve data also from Power BI or other than SQL. Cool, let's start. So, introduction. Key4 is hosted in a web server that is usually IIS for the on-prem installation, while on the cloud we host it differently, but this is another story because the cloud will come next month. Honestly, like earlier than that. Administrators will connect directly to Key4 to develop models, connections, templates, etc. The user, the final user, will not access Key4 directly from the studio, but will access Key4 from the BI platform, Power BI, Qlik, Tableau, whatever. We will retrieve data from SQL through connection string, and we will present this data to users using our models. And the models are the ones that are embedded into the BI platform. So before, during the demo, we were here in Power BI. We were connected to the front end that is presenting the models. The front end talks to the back end that is retrieving data from various SQL sources. In your case, we will be in, I think it's a SQL Server, so this second one, but we can read also from all these other data sources. And this list is expanding at the moment. So now, what we need to do then to make Key4 work? We need to ensure that the SQL Server database is ready to be used in Key4 as a first step. So, first thing to do is to prepare our database. So the typical.
So Antonio, I have a question before. So we have here a new version of Key4. So what is different to the old version?
Okay, first of all, it's rewritten in .NET 9, so the technological stack is has been updated. But if we want to go to the features, we didn't revolution the product because we liked the idea of having a spreadsheet connected to SQL, embedded into Power BI, so we kept that part, but we decided to have a much more integrated way of developing. So while before you were forced to go on Excel to develop your Key4, now you can stay inside Key4 to develop Key4. This is something we will see later on, but what I mean is that the new part, other than the UX that you will see is a little bit more talking, you edit the templates directly from here. So here you have your formula. We put some extra features like reverse formula, like Key4 formula, etc. But you have your formula here. You develop from here. So if I need to take data and put it in this cell, I don't need to go to Excel, write the formula, upload, and see the result. I write the formula directly here. So if I open the information here, I have my source data here. I select the syntax of the formula I want to use, and here I get the number immediately. So all I need to do now is to take the formula and check that is pointing to the right cell. So here I can change the arguments. So instead of actual, I want budget. I do it this way, And of course, the budget for 2024 does not exist. So probably it's better to put 2025 and you get the number immediately. So
if I understand, so you have the view of so we need an Excel template, but we don't edit the Excel template on Excel, so we edit the Excel template directly here in K4. That is the difference?
Exactly. That's the difference. You can also upload an Excel template and start modifying it here. We'll see it during the training. But basically, this is the difference. So as you can see, formula are calculated also in edit mode on the fly. If I change here 2024 to 2023, you see that nothing happens because it's not pointing to the cells. But now this is a complex example because the cells on which I'm referring are hidden. But let me discard the changes. Let me take you to the studio.
Okay, but physical, we have a template installed or not?
A template. Honestly, the templates are saved here in the template library. Okay. And the models that are the same thing, but with data inside, are here in this other view. So this is the studio on which we connect. When I go on edit mode, I can decide to edit the template here or upload it from a file.
Okay.
Okay. So the menus are the same. So visual properties, views, SQL, etc. are basically the same. And the difference is that everything is integrated inside the Key4 interface. So developing a new application takes, let's say, a tenth of the time compared to before.
Mm-hmm. This
because
is called
instead of
this is called K4 Studio, right? Or how do you call this officially?
I call it Studio. I call it Key4, honestly, but Studio is the specific term. So you go here, and this thing is evolving. So new sections are arriving, like folders to keep the model together, a standalone version in which user will connect directly here without going into Power BI Click or whatever to give an alternative to people, etc. So here you have all the settings, etc. But before starting, the part on SQL is the same as before. So I didn't ask if you were already Key4 consultants before, but sounds like yes. So I'm starting from scratch. So what do we need? So we can move faster and go to the nice part faster. So first of all, we need to prepare the SQL database. We need to ensure that the tables on which we write have at least one primary key. These tables will contain data entry data. And for each table that we want to use to store data, we need to create a Key4 view. Okay, the view needs to be named with the prefix Key4v underscore the name of the table. This is mandatory. This view works as a metadata. Needs to contain all the fields of the table on which we want to write, but can contain extra fields that can be used for filtering, for aggregations, etc. So if you take your F-Sales table into SQL Server Management Studio, you will see that this structure like this. So let's expand this. So can I zoom this thing? No. So let's do it this way. So this is in all of your database, we have this F-Sales table. As you can see, it has 5 primary keys. We will refer to the primary keys as dimensions, and 4 other fields, numeric in this case, that are our measures. So basically, this table is representing data by product, customer, scenario, year and month, and it's showing you gross sales, discounts, cost of goods sold, and sales quantity. So a very basic example of a table. If you query the table, you should see actual data inside. So this is what it should look like also on your side. Now we want to use this table inside Key4. So to use this table inside Key4, we need to create the related Key4 view. How do? We write the query. We write the query as, let me see. I'm trying to use this zoom functionality, but I don't like it. Create view Key4v underscore f underscore sales. Pay much attention because the case needs to be respected. Select star from f underscore sales. So we start building the Key4v this way. So everybody can do this on his own database.
Just one thing, Antonio. Sorry, I have to leave, so around in 10 minutes. So don't wonder if I just disconnect, okay?
Okay. So we have lost our first member of the training. The last one, who will resist until the end will win a Key4 toy or whatever.
We will last man standing.
Okay, so here we created the Key4 view, and right now it shows exactly the same data, of course, of the Key4 table. So did everybody build the same? Okay. Okay. So this view is meant to say to Key4, hey, I want to use the table F sales to write back. It's only a metadata. This is why we build this view, because this is the way to certify to Key4 the table F sales is made with primary keys, it contains some measures, and will be used for write back. So you need to consider this one as a metadata. So we executed this script. So this is the most basic script you can use. And now we want to connect to this database. So to connect to this database, we go in the settings area of the studio. We select our provider, in this case, SQL Server, and we fill all the fields to connect to the database. Okay. We need to perform a sync of the database and check the data. But before doing this, we need to ensure that the user that we will use in connection string has access to the database. So in my case, in my connection string, I will use the user Key4. So the user Key4, if you navigate in Management Studio, here, I have this user Key4. I don't know which user you're using, but you need to ensure that the user has at least the following membership. I tell you that I'm trying this Zoom feature, and so you need to ensure that the user is a data reader, data writer, and DDL admin of your database. So I don't know which user you are going to use. Basically, I assume the same one you use to connect to Management Studio. Ensure that the user in the security of the database has the 3 memberships that I just shown you. So if you expand the database key for training underscore your initials, you go under security users, you find the user you use to connect or create a new one with that name. You go under membership, that is the third one. Don't go under ownerships, so the second one. Go under membership, the third one, and give him data reader, data writer, and DDL admin privilege. Data reader is what?
If we have DB owner selected, will that also be fine?
Should be okay. Should be okay, because DB owner should be able to read, write, and create tables. But this is the minimal set.
Okay. I'm actually not sure. I checked the users. We have a DBO user, which is obviously the owner, but I'm actually not sure if that's the one we use. Does anyone else know?
We use the K4 demo user, but he's a sysadmin, so he can do everything.
Okay.
Yes, but in the database, I don't know if he has the memberships. So we will see it later on.
Okay.
In case we get an error, it's not a big deal. And we
I opened it up and like look for the membership, and it just has DB owner selected.
Yeah, Julian, you also have DBO, guest, information schema, and sys.
Yes.
As the owners, right? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So I also checked DBO, and it's the database owner. But like I said, I'm not sure if that's the one we use, but we'll see.
But Antonio, for good practices, should we always have a dedicated user with those three roles selected?
Honestly, yes, because this way, if somebody steals the connection or stuff like that, it's not a big deal. Doesn't steal a sysadmin. But in demo environment, honestly, you can do whatever you prefer. Okay.
Okay.
So to create the connection, we connect to the Key4Analytics client as an administrator user. So I don't know, Julian, did you create the users for all the folks in this
yes.
room? Okay.
They are admins too.
Oh, okay, they are. Okay, so if you're admin, you should see the setting area clickable on the left. You go under connection, create. You create the connection string, give it a name. I will call it Key4 Training Evaco. Save, test. The test connection is successful. So is everybody on this page now?
Yes.
So the connection string, you can copy probably the other one and change simply the database name. So the first.
And everybody's going to create a connection string?
Yes, everybody. We work in parallel. So
okay. So at the end, like the initials again, right? Underscore, and
yes,
then so we can differentiate between the.
Okay, I think I just overwrote the existing one, the only existing one we had.
It's okay. That was on getting started, so it's not a big deal because we created it last time with Julian.
Okay.
So now that we have the connection, if everybody did the connection,
One second.
1 second. No, take your time.
Yeah, I see it now. We have to configure it later, Moritz, because it uses the.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No problem.
But the I mean, the connection string is still the same, so we can kind of get it back. I just
yes,
don't
it's
know
only
what
the
the
database
name.
The name you can use the name you prefer. So usually my practice is to use the same name of the database on the connection string. It's easier.
Okay.
So meanwhile, while creating, the UI that you're seeing of the studio is one of the new parts. As you can see, we logged in with single sign-on, Enter ID. So this is a little bit more secure. And this allows you to connect also from other parts. You don't need to stay on the server to connect to the studio and stuff like that. Plus, everything has been built with a Fluent UI framework that is very similar to Microsoft. So you should be kind of familiar with the drop-downs, menus, etc. So once we have the connection, from the left menu, we navigate to database. The blue part.
One more thing. We would have to change the initial catalog to our database name, right?
Exactly. So
Okay.
here in initial catalog, each of you should have his own database.
Yeah, perfect.
So I have key for training. You should have key for training 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. When we move to database, a tile with the name of the connection string should have appeared. If you click on it, this is the error message the message you should get. Database does not contain any table. Try to sync the database to download the schema. There is a big blue button on top left named sync. We click it. We gave the table schema. DBO should be the one. Once we click sync, we should see the list of tables and views to the left.
Yes.
Okay, this means
and the others, like Moritz, Drew, Andreas,
Yeah.
Dana.
Yeah.
Sorry.
okay.
I saw some
Yes.
tables before, and then I clicked on sync, and now I see the ones that I'm supposed to see. So no idea what that was, but
I think
because
it's
you
not that important.
you overwritten what we did with Julian
Yeah.
last time. So
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. So
Now it's gone.
what we have here. So Dana, are you on the same page? You were saying something.
I'm not yet there because I
Okay.
had to test my connection and had some errors. So maybe you can show me the last step you did.
Okay. Now the error is gone, or
Yes,
Okay.
now it's successfully.
you move to database, so the blue part, and you open the tile named after your connection string.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're here, you click on sync.
Okay. And then
Well-
there's some naming field coming.
That the schema DBO will
Yes.
be okay. Click OK.
Just think, okay. Yes, it's
You should.
there.
Oh, okay. When do we need to enter this and why it's used? This is the database cache. It contains metadata. The metadata is used to help in configuration, so it will show tables in the drop-downs and stuff like that. We usually enter these whenever we change the metadata. So we add the column to the view, we add the column to the table, we create a new table, we create a new view, we create a new store procedure. Whenever we do a change of metadata of the database, we come here. We don't come here if data changes for metadata. If you click on a view or a table, you get a preview of the first 100 rows of data. So this helps you to navigate. Plus, on top right, and this will be consistent in the full interface, you can decide the read pane position. So you can put on the right, at the bottom, you can turn it off, and in this case, it opens in full screen when you click. The default is on the right, but depending on the shape of your screen, it can change. To reset to default, you just click on this button. So, cool. We have a connection. We see data in Key4. Now it's time to use data into models. So let's move on with our training. So we did this part, we connected, we have our data. It's time to create models. As I was saying, models is what we need to create with Key4. All we did until now is to create models. It's an object that retrieves data from SQL and present this data into a spreadsheet, in case of a spreadsheet model, or into a table, in case of a master table model. It's also coming a third type of model that is the pivot table, but we won't see it during this training because it's not ready yet. To configure a model, we go into the edit mode, the one we were seeing before, and we fill the sections in the edit menu. Each section is configured with a specific spreadsheet interface. So we'll have visual properties in which we decide the colors, the scroll bars, and stuff like that. The template section is the core section, is where you configure the Excel, is the part that before was done outside. The view section is a small setting, is a visual property. We won't look at it today. It's only a way to hide and show rows in a dynamic way to create a menu. Then we have the second mandatory setting, that is the SQL dataset, is where we configure which data we want to see from SQL. Auth dataset is to configure data that comes from Power BI. Then we can configure the context that will help us in configuring which are the filters or the parameters. Then we have drills that are used to configure drills, so you can drill, as we saw before, to another spreadsheet, to another model. And then the launchpad, that is the section in which we run store procedure. We will start with a master table. The master table object is our most simple model. So what we will do is to connect again to Key4. We navigate into the model section, orange. On top left, there is a new button with a small arrow. If you click the small arrow, you can see that you have the three types of model appearing here: spreadsheet, master table, and pivot table. For our first exercise, we will select master table. We give a name to the model, my first master table. In my opinion, each of you should put his initial somewhere, then give the connection string. Each of you will take the connection string. Once hitting on create, we land on this page. The page we were landing is the SQL dataset page. Okay. Here we configure the dataset. At the beginning, we see only one with the plus sign here at the top. We see also the extra datasets that we can configure, and there are up to 20. And on the first database, we select the table. We see only one because it's the only one that has a Key4b associated. By selecting the table, the dimension is automatically populated for master table. You cannot select which dimension to see in master table. We select the measures we want to see. So we take cost of goods sold, we take the discount, we take gross sales, we take sales quantity. By expanding with the plus sign on the left, we see the options on each measure. So we can decide to the data type, if it's editable or not. Here, by expanding the editable, we see all the data entry settings, so the smart data entry, drivers, etc. But in this case, we leave everything as default and we hit save. Once you save, you see this green message on the bottom right. We can switch to play mode by using the arrow on top right. Okay, did everybody configure this part?
For some reason, it just overwrites measure 2 for me all the time.
You have to double click in the next cell.
You need to double click, not
double click.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. And I have a question, like how does it configure the dimensions? Like they are automatically added? Like
this is a master table, so it will always show data at the most granular level. So it will take all the primary keys as dimensions by default. The dimension will be editable in the spreadsheet model that we will see right after this one. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So once you are all on this page, tell me, and we will click on play. Okay.
Shall we click on save? Yeah.
Yes, save always. Once you save and you go on play, this is what you will see. So basically is all the rows of our T4V F sales. Data can be filtered, can be sorted. We can be grouped by dragging a column on top. Expanded, you already get some totals, etc., and can be edited. From this object, you can also create new rows, delete existing rows, do whatever you want to do. So this object is called master table. It's ready for data entry. So if you change a number in the measure, so here 13,000, probably it's better to put something less. If you change a number here, it will be directly saved on SQL. And you can create new rows, you can delete, and that's basically it. So what we see here is that we have an object that can read and write data into the SQL table. This is not used usually for fact tables. Is more used to maintain like dimensions, like product hierarchies, etc. But this is new from the new version. It can also read tables with multiple primary keys, a thing that was not possible before. And also, other than that, it also has all the filter, sort features that will make your life a little bit easier. Plus, the look and feel is smoother. This object is able to run. Let me remove this filter. To retrieve a lot of rows in no time. So it can also be used in case you need people to upload the big Excel files directly into SQL, because it has a nice export import functionality from Excel. So if you have an Excel with these headers, it will overwrite. So let me export this to Excel. So when I open this Excel, it will show exactly the same data. Okay, if I change some of the data, so for example, product 040, 2023, whatever, to 1000, save, I can go back to my master table and import it again. So import. This has imported something, has updated one record, the one that I changed. It was product 40, if I'm not wrong. I put 1000 in somewhere in product 40, 2023. Need to find it. So year 2023.
So I import the data here into this sheet, but it's not in the database. Or if I think it's also in the database.
It's also as you can see, this 1000 is saved here. Okay, and it's also in the database. So if I query the database on product 40, 2023, whatever, it's directly in the database. It's directly in the database because when I was importing, I selected one option. Let's change some numbers to 1000. Also,
it's in a database when you import it to K4 Studio. Like in this step, it gets.
Look, when you import and you get the file, you have some options. Okay, the options is first of all contains headers. So this is only an option to tell I will match the column for the header, not for the order. The second option is preview data before putting into database. If I turn it off, it will import directly into the database. If I turn it on and I import, it will highlight the cells that are about to be written into the database, and I will write into the database only when I hit on save. So now it's in the database and tells me that I updated 8 records. So when
if
importing,
I have data in the database, so and I import here new data, it concatenates the data or overrides the data. If I have a key, if I no, I don't have an ID key field or so. How it works?
The table has a primary key. Okay, for the records that are on the same primary key, an update will be run. For the records that do not exist, an insert will be run. So if the combination product 40, 2023, whatever, actual 01 does exist, it will create an update. If I create a combination that does not exist, so product 40, let's find for the customer. I have all the combinations here, unlikely, but let's do this. If I go here, okay, and I create a new combination that does not exist, so I move to the bottom and I do the same of this, but I change, for example, the year to 2027, okay? Doesn't make sense to have actuals on 2027, but please be kind to me and don't ask me for an example. When I do file, import, and I check here, take this, I do a preview of the data so it's immediately visible. So the row is generated, okay? While before we were using existing rows, so they are updated. If you want something that deletes everything before importing, it's up to you to create a procedure in the Launchpad here to clear all the records or whatever you want, or do a trigger or the way you prefer. This is very flexible. So we give you an instrument that has a standard logic, merges data to whatever it finds. Then it's up to you to create other logics if you want. If you have an auto incremental key, of course, it will generate always new combinations.
What is the use case for planning behind this? Is it to have a first version of planning as
The use case is that I tell you, in my last project, the IT didn't manage to create automatic integrations to bring the product hierarchy, the customer hierarchy, and stuff like that. So meanwhile, there was a guy that had these files as CSV and wanted something to put into the SQL database, bypassing the IT and maintaining it with his Excel. So he was uploading Excels here and putting them into SQL.
Okay, but this not everybody is admin on the K4. Yeah.
Of course, this has been put into a Power BI model because you can embed this in Power BI and distribute it only to the user with access to this capability. So let's assume you are the only one in Evaco handling the customer hierarchy. I create this Power BI report with this master table, send it to you, give access only to you. You will be the only one using this. Is an utility, okay? What is the takeover of this part of the training? So we learned how to configure a SQL dataset. So you select the table, you select the dimension, you select the measures. We see that Key4 is retrieving data from the dataset, and we see that we can write back on the measures or create new rows. So this is where we have this. Honestly, I have also another customer in Germany that uses this specific table, new customer because this is the new version, but to do massive upload of data. So they have guys because they they calculate some offset between months, considering the last 4 years of history. So they need to load every time 100,000 records. So, you know, sometimes you don't want to write manually 100,000 records. You have records somewhere. You want to upload them here, and that's it. This is very simple. You don't have all the spreadsheet user interface. You don't have the lock and spread. You don't have all the nice features we have seen in the demo, but you have something quick to go and upload data.
Okay.
Okay. So we created our first master table. We have seen how to import and export data. Now, let's go back to the training. It's time to create our first static spreadsheet model. So the data that we have seen in the master table, how is it put into a spreadsheet? There must be an extra configuration that tells me which data goes in which cell. Okay. Differently from master table, data can be aggregated. So here I went at the most granular level, while when we do the spreadsheet model, data can be also aggregated. It can be the total by year, by product group, by whatever. To select which data goes on which cell, we use some formula. The formula that we use are the classic key for get and key for value from the old version. We added the key for SQL and the key for cell because we added the syntax that is a little bit easier. We will see it now. The key for SQL is the one we will use today. To retrieve data and to understand which data goes in which cell, we will rely on the information button. So let's create our first static spreadsheet. So let's go and create a new model. So I go back to the home page by clicking on model on the left. I click on new. For the spreadsheet model, you can either select it from the drop-down, or it's the default option by clicking on new. We give a name, training, Evaco, static spreadsheet. We select the connection. As usual, each one of you needs to read his own connection and give a name to the template. So this is the model, this is the template, or select an existing one. We create new. In this training, we always create new templates. By hitting on create, this time we land on the Excel editor. Is everybody on this page? Okay. The Excel editor is basically a blank worksheet at the beginning on which we can start to put our formula. So for example, if I want to do a report by year and month, I start by typing 2023, 2024, 2025, then the names of the months on top, so 01, 02, and honestly, I put it until 12. And now what I want to do is to fill these cells here that I color in orange with data. How do I fill this cells with data? I navigate from the edit menu on top. This one is the one showing all the sections that we need to configure for our model, and I navigate under SQL datasets. I come back to what I was seeing before for the master table. I select the only table I have. I don't have anything else for now, and I select the dimensions. So I have month number and year number that I want to use in this case, and I select one of the measures. So I will use gross sales.
Does the order of the dimensions matter?
Yes, it matters, but if you did it the other way around, I will show you how it changes. It changes the way you write the formula. Because now, if you hit the refresh button and you click on information, this is the menu you will see. The info panel at the bottom will show some general information about the model, some performance information on how much each query took to execute. Context, here you have the filter parameter we didn't configure, so you only have the default one. We need to navigate under the SQL part to see the data that has been retrieved. So this SQL part is telling me that 32 records have been retrieved by my query. The query that has been run is this one. As you can see, data has been aggregated at the level of dimensions. So there is a group by month and year, and the measure has been sum because it's a number, and there is some order, etc. When I take
can you go back one step again? Because can you go back to the spreadsheet and how you marked the fields and then went to the other view?
You go with the edit menu on top. This edit menu contains the sections that we need to configure. The data is always configured under the source section, under SQL dataset, because now we are configuring SQL data. So I clicked on SQL data and I went here.
Does it matter if I have numbers and not 01, 02 for the months?
It matters. I tell you, because this is the code of the month in our database. So it's 01. Do you want me to zoom in a little bit? It does matter because the month number in the database is saved as 01, 02, 03. So the columns should show 01, 02, 03. So you need to put the single quote before the 01, otherwise Excel won't let you type 01.
I also have a question. When choosing the table, it only shows F sales, but there are like 6 tables in SQL. Like, what's different configured?
Okay, can somebody answer the question?
Can you repeat it?
Why Julian can only see? Okay, no, it's a good question, because now in SQL dataset, it says I have 6 tables in my database. Why do I only see F sales?
Because it's the only one with a view.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
I forgot. Okay.
Cool. So cool. 1 point for
minus 1 point for me.
Minus 1 point. So it's closer to the toy.
I will be the next one who leaves this call.
Okay. Okay. So we need to fill now. We want to fill the orange cells with data. So the way to do this is to type a format key for SQL and start giving dataset, measure, whether it's editable or not, and then.
Sorry, guys, for me it's too fast. I don't have the edit. I don't see the edit in. I can share if you want. So
yes,
maybe
please.
It's the fastest.
Because you are probably in play mode.
Yeah.
Let me see. No, you are in template. This is the template section. You go under models.
Okay.
Click on new.
No, I think I created already one, but it's not there. Yes, yeah. Okay.
If you want to filter only your models, go back in models.
Sorry?
Go back in the home page. I'll show you something that is good for everybody. If you click on top, there is my models. It will filter only the models that you created. So it will shorten the list.
This is not the spreadsheet model. This is the master model.
Okay, so you didn't create a spreadsheet model. You created the template, and the other one.
Okay.
Was from somebody else.
Okay, so
So create a spreadsheet model. Call it the way you
Sorry.
want. Yes, going in parallel with 5 people has some.
So, okay. Yeah, like this?
Create. Yeah, well, it's okay. So we will reuse what you already did. Cool. So open the edit menu. Go under SQL datasets. Select the table. Dimensions. Month number, year number. Okay. Double click on the first measure and select one field. Pick gross sales, for example. Discount is okay. Okay, hit on refresh on top. Click on information. Next to refresh, there is a button called info. Okay, and click on SQL. Now, with the edit menu, come back to the template.
Oops, sorry.
That is not, you didn't save now. You have lost your change.
Yeah, I'm born for this.
Okay. So edit. To enter edit mode, you need to click the pencil on top right. Okay. Now, reconfigure the table.
Okay.
Sales. Dimensions. Okay. Measure. Whatever you want.
Okay.
Select the dimensions now. Month and year. Save. And use the edit menu to navigate into template.
To where?
Template is the second one. Template.
Okay.
Oh, finally. Now, click on the info button and click on the cell B2. Okay. Now go under SQL on the info menu and right-click any value of gross sales. You will see a menu. Select key for SQL. Okay. Now we created the formula that is retrieving data from SQL and place it into the Excel. The only problem with this formula is that it's taking the coordinates of 01 and 2023. You want hard-coded. You want to point the coordinates to rows and columns. So how do we do this? Can I take back the sharing? So I should be on the same page as her. So we are here. I want to use the coordinates. So I click on FX and I point the key one to this, just like Excel. And probably it's good to put a $sign before A. And then I take 2023 from here, so A2. And I take the month from the column because I have month and year. The $1. Okay. When I hit OK, I can take this formula and copy paste it on all the cells. Now I have my report.
I need to see what you typed in key 1 and key 2 again, please.
Key 1, okay, let me also zoom in. So, wow.
Okay.
It's an Excel formula. So what does this formula say? It says retrieve data from the database, from the dataset that is named F sales. The measure that is gross sales, because I select that one, and the keys, take them from the cells that I have in rows and columns. This is the meaning of the formula.
Thanks.
Okay, before continuing, we have also the old syntax that has key forget that works a little bit different. This key forget is exactly the same, but we only have it for back compatibility with the previous version. Instead of using one parameter for each key, it puts all the keys in a single parameter by concatenating the string. We noticed that this was generating a lot of errors when configuring, so we decided for a new syntax, but they are perfectly equivalent. You cannot nest this formula key for SQL with the other key for SQL. So these keys and parameter cannot be taken from other key for SQL, because key for SQL is a read and write. But there is another syntax that is read-only that can be nested. That is the key for value. Type it because it's important. So if you want to retrieve the coordinates data from SQL again, you need to use key for value. You cannot use read and write functions, but key for value. That is exactly as the key for get, but in read-only. Key for cell, just to finish, is exactly the same as key for SQL, but it has an extra parameter that tells you if you want to read from SQL or Power BI. So this one will be used to read data from Power BI. Okay. So
I need to see the formula one more time, please.
Oh, of course. This is the formula. You can see it also here. Let me here.
Okay.
Now I have year and month. If you have month and year configured in the dimensions, then you need to invert the two parameters. So look at the SQL dataset here. So if I do, if you see, I have first month and then year. So I need to put B1 and then A2. If I had the opposite, so first year and then month, I would have exchanged the order of the two parameters.
And how did you copy it, or
I simply copied the formula this way, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, but you can also drag if you prefer. It should work as well.
No, I didn't. Okay. So I share again.
Okay.
So.
Okay, you did it. So you have B1. In my opinion, your dollar on B is wrong. It is $1. That one is correct. So enter. Copy the cell or drag it.
Now it's working. Okay, so it was this.
Yeah.
This thing.
Okay, that one is standard Excel. I don't know how familiar you are with Excel.
No, it's not my favorite tool.
No, basically the dollar sign is used to say when I copy paste, I do not move that number. But okay.
And now save.
Now save. Yes. So we are here.
I have an unrelated question.
We can reach the model. So putting some formula. When we put the formula in edit mode, it's not like putting the formula in play mode as we have seen before for the user. This formula that we set in edit mode is persisted, is for all the users. Okay. And if we want to allow people to write also on this sum, for example, we need to unprotect the cell. So format cells, protection, unlock. Once I save and go play mode, this is how it should look like. And we already can try to do data entry. Why I say try? Because we have an aggregated level. So to allow data entry, we need to also to define hierarchies. We will do it in 2 steps. But now it's important that you're able to retrieve data with our functions. Yes, Julian, question.
Oh yeah. Like, is this Excel embedded in K4, or did you like recreate it, or how does it work? Like, is it running on the Excel engine?
It's not Excel, but it's 100% compatible. It's a web component that has all the Excel functions, etc.
Okay.
And that's it. You can also use, for example, if you want to create, I don't know, a chart, you can also create a chart directly in K4 with this, or a chart, and you create, I don't know, a bar chart, okay, whatever I created, and put it there. So
Okay.
it's it has exactly the same feature as Excel.
Thank you.
So if we have the same in Qlik, so we need an Excel template, or
it's
how
the
we
same
work
in Qlik. It's the same in Qlik. When we will embed in Qlik, all we will need to do is to give. Okay, let's do this. So I called this model training Evaco static spreadsheet, whatever. So if I go under general and take the name, and I go to Qlik, today I was not ready. Let's go here. Let's take a new. So here, let me go in edit sheet. All I did to connect to Qlik is to go in my give the server URL and give the model name. If I give the model name Evaco, whatever, it takes this model. And also from Qlik, I have the same editors and same stuff.
So we have where are the data from the modeling Evaco static spreadsheet?
Data is inside SQL, retrieved via connection string and shown.
And the model information, the metadata of the model.
The metadata of the model is on my server. Is on the server. Is in here. Localhost, K4 Analytics, whatever. Is not saved directly.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I understand. Okay.
It's a library of models. So it's easier this way because when your customer will ask you, oh, I want to migrate from Qlik to Tableau to whatever, that part for us is seamless because I embed this model in Power BI exactly the same way.
Okay, I understand.
You didn't have the model ID in the old versions in Qlik, right?
In the old versions, no. It started to be there in 2024, I think.
Yeah, okay.
In the old version, you were saving directly in the Qlik document. But honestly, it made the maintenance a little bit difficult. Okay. But okay. There we are. So we created the static model. So what we learned is to retrieve data at an aggregated level and present it into cells that are not the flat table that we have seen with master table. Next question can be, okay, but you wrote the codes of year and months manually. What if I want to take the full product list or the full customer list and create a spreadsheet that dynamically show those? This will be our next step in the training. So we will see how to create a dynamic spreadsheet. So this is the spreadsheet we created in edit mode. So next step of our training is this one. So we write here, we have this one, and we start with the dynamic spreadsheet. Rows and columns can be, other than hard-coded, taken dynamically from tables. So I select one table, one view, one query, and that can be either from the host or from the SQL to create rows dynamically. Then, how does it work? We configure only one row or one sample of row, one group of rows for the first element of the rows that we will retrieve. And when going into play mode, Key4 will replicate the same for all the combination that we configure into the dynamic row example. The dynamic row field is selected under the visual properties. You can have multiple dimensions by row. So how does it work? Let's do the exercise that will make things clearer. We create a new spreadsheet. Again, I call it my first dynamic model Evaco. I select my connection string. I create a new template. And then I'm here, as usual. Okay. This time I move directly to SQL datasets. I select my usual table of sales. Tell me if I'm going too fast, guys.
Too fast.
Too fast.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult to hop between. I only have one screen, so I have to hop.
Sorry.
So
we created a new model, call it the way you prefer.
ID. And the template, what shall I select?
Whatever you want. Create a new one by typing a name, any name. I usually keep the same name for model and template.
Okay.
Okay, so with the edit menu, navigate under SQL datasets. Select the sales. And select the dimension year, month, and product. We select a couple of measures like gross sales and cost of goods sold. We hit refresh and we check in the information that data has been retrieved.
How do I see the info below?
You click on info here.
Info, okay. Yes, okay.
Okay. So is some 1200 rows, and we have it here. So now let's move to visual properties. To set dynamic rows, we need to fill the dynamic row fields field. Okay. The dynamic row field can be filled with something like the name of the view, so Key4V underscore F underscore sales, column, the dimensions we want by row. So year, number, and product code. If I did everything correctly, we should see data under dynamic rows. I don't see it because I have a version that is in development, but not a big deal. So now let's go to the template and let's configure the template this way. Are we on the same page? Dana, you want to share? So I drive you a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I'm still here.
Okay, let me see. Where are you? Okay, so you're there. I put the string in the chat that needs to be put there. Here now. Oh, you're almost there. This is okay. This is telling you take these two columns. Okay, hit enter. Now say okay. Hit refresh, please.
Yeah, it's still saving.
Yeah, it takes sometimes it can take a while. Yeah, the library is saved under a SQLite database that is in our installation folder. Okay, but it shouldn't take so long.
Didn't take that long for me.
Yes, it doesn't take so long usually, but okay. Paste. Oh, did you refresh? Okay. No, wait. Okay.
Yeah.
Save. Okay. Go under information, please. Let's see if it's working. Click on dynamic rows. Okay. These are the rows that will be generated. So we have 120 rows that will be generated. How? Now navigate under the template section. Okay. So edit. No.
Not here.
use the back button. Use the back button.
Thanks.
Edit menu.
Okay.
Section template. Okay. I will remove that template section from the left because everybody does the same. You're not the only one, Dana. So click on information again and click on dynamic rows. Okay. Now place your cursor on select cell A2. If you right click on the dynamic rows, no, not there, on the dynamic rows information, you will see a formula. Not there on any of the dynamic rows. So like 2020, where you see the table, down. No, go on any value, that one, for example. Okay. Select the dynamic rows. Cool, click on it. Okay, what happened? That some formulae have been put into your spreadsheet. The formula that has put is named key for dim. This formula is a placeholder. It tells you that whatever row is in between the first key for dim and the key for end that has been placed in the next row will be taken, copied in play mode, and replicated for each of the dynamic rows that you have here. So if you configure one row of this template, it will generate 120 rows because you have 120 dynamic rows. So let's do this. Insert a new, put by column the month just like before, so 01, 02 until 012 in C1.
C1, okay.
C1, okay. In C1, no, in C1, click on C1, okay, and type 01. Okay, then 02 in D1.
C2.
No, 01, 02 into D1. We put the month by column now. That's what we're doing.
In D1, huh?
Okay,
like 02. Before, yeah?
Okay,
Like this.
Like before, exactly, until 12. Perfect. Okay. Now, what we do, go under SQL and select C2. Now, right-click gross sales, for example, any value, and do a clipboard SQL, just like we did before. Okay. Click on FX next to the formula. Okay. No, cancel. Now, this is a problem that I have with my spreadsheet component. Click outside C2 and then click inside C2 again, because we had the focus on the information. Now, what you need to do is to select, for example, C3 and come back to C2. Okay, click on FX. Okay, it happens because it takes the last click on the spreadsheet. So the last click was outside the spreadsheet, so it was giving you the generic formula editor, but not a big deal. Okay. Now let's start selecting the codes. So the year, so click on the cell selector of the year. On Q1, yes, there is a select by cell that is the last icon on this. There is an icon, a blue icon with a perfect click, and now click A2, sorry, A2.
Click or type?
You can either click or type. Block the A with a $sign. Okay. Now click again the blue icon. Come back to the previous one. Do the same for key 3 or key 2. Okay. And this is the product. So is $B2. Okay, now select the month, same way. Yeah, click on that, select the month.
CO.
No, the dollar is after the C in this case, C $1. Because you're blocking the row, not the column. Okay, enter. You're done. Hit OK. Drag the formula to all the rows, all the columns, sorry. Save. It's correct. We don't have data from September 2025. Data stops in August. Click on play mode. Let's see what happened.
Sorry, on what?
Play mode is to switch between play and edit mode. There is a button on top right under your picture of Dana Klosternaffel. So on top right.
Yeah, okay. Play mode, yeah.
What happens? It happens that you configured one row, but the report is showing all the combination of year and product that you have in the database. Okay, so it's replicating the sample row you configured for all the combinations.
I've got an error message that the model cannot be updated due to a network error. I'm not sure if that's something that you can fix.
Yes, of course. Yeah, show it to me. Probably you just need to reload the page.
So I got that
one. Do a refresh of the page.
So like with this or the whole page?
Before doing this, click on dynamic rows and let's see if you have the 120 rows. Yes. No, yes, refresh the page, please. In my opinion, it's a caching error. Now you need. Now this is not okay. Okay. Perfect. So if you will switch to play mode, you should go at the same as Dana.
Yep.
Okay, so let's move back on my screen because now the one that's behind, it's me. So
I need a
cool.
5-minute technical break.
Okay. Cool. If you want, we can have all a break and see you in 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
5 minutes
Yes.
is fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
5. Thank you.
Yeah.
See you.
Bye.
See you.
the K4dim stuff works a bit differently from the older versions, right?
No, not really. It's the same. The difference is that you can also type Key4dim1 and Key4dim2. Let me show you. So you should stay, share screen. Okay. We should be on this page, okay?
Mm-hmm.
In the old version, you were used to have this one, Key4dim1, Key4dim2. No, sorry, I'm not typing. Key4. I was in the chat, not in. Somebody received a message. Key4dim1, Key4dim2. So Key4dim1, Key4dim2. What happens?
That's what I remember.
This works. This still works. If you do save and go in play mode, this works.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly the same. Why did I let you use the other syntax that is Key4dim1, then the second parameter is a sample of data, 2025, and then I have here Key4dim2, and then I have here the 001. Because this formula is saying in play mode, I work like a Key4dim1 and in dim2. But in edit mode, I will return this value so that you have already values as a sample in the spreadsheet. So the idea is it's the same as before, but giving you the possibility of putting a sample. You can play with data, and it's easier to create like a total because you already have a feedback. Like I do this, and I do total, whatever, and save. Now we have this. Okay. Just like the previous version, here I can insert also other rows. So let's assume whatever will be placed here will be copied over for the 120 rows. So here I'm getting gross sales. I can copy this formula and take the other measure that I selected. So for that is COGS, for example. Copy it over and then create like label columns like sales, cost, and then I do a margin, for example. That can be these minus this. Paste the formula around. Do also this part. When I go in play mode, now I have for each combination 3 rows. Okay. Okay. So this is basically the dynamic spreadsheet. Also columns can be dynamic. You select one of the measures of the dataset and you have similar placeholders for the columns. We won't see it now. You can check it on the manual. It's very trivial. So basically you have the same, but transposed. Any questions on dynamic columns? Okay. So far, you like the new editor?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
I do.
Definitely, yes.
Yes, because honestly, when I joined Key4, the first thing I said, we need an editor. Because I was at the old version, I said, no, I want an editor no matter what. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so here, okay, we created our dynamic spreadsheet. What we can do now is to allow data entry. Why? Because we are not at physical level. So if I try to do data entry, right now it should allocate on the hierarchies. but I didn't define the hierarchies. To allow aggregated data entry, I need to define which are the hierarchies. To define the hierarchies, there is another, no, sorry, forget about it. I jumped a chapter. Before going there, I want to create extra attributes in my view. So right now, my view is very simple. I created the key for V basically by simply reflecting. Oh, but I'm going forward, but I don't think your colleague is back. Do you want to wait for Andreas?
I think we can continue. Oh, there he is.
Oh.
I'm here.
Oh, sorry, Andreas, I didn't see you.
I'm hearing. So... Yeah, it's okay.
Ah, yeah, sorry. Okay, so we want to create attributes because we are using customer, product, scenario, whatever, but probably we want to use a product group, a customer group, a city, a region, a geography, stuff like that. So if we go back on our database on SQL Server Management Studio, I prepared some dimension tables, so customer, amount, product, scenario, that contain some extra attributes. We want to use those to filter data, to aggregate data, etc. How do we do this? We enrich the key for V view. So if now our key for V is this poor query here, so select star from fsales, I can left join the dimension table to obtain something a little bit more complex. So if I have a product code, I notice that in the product table, I also have the product name, the division, product group, the category, the brand, stuff like that. So I simply left join on product code all the attributes. And I do this for all the relevant things that I find around in the database. If you take the file that I let you download before, there is a query named key for V fsales that will allow you to alter this view. So as you can see, these Ctrl-Shift R. Okay, so this is the same view as before, but I added all the attributes from the product table, customer table, scenario table, and month table. Not only, I also created a couple of calculated filters on the fly, like the starting letter of the product and double gross sales. Okay, so a couple of 2 extra columns that I have it on the fly, because you're allowed to add whatever you want. When I execute this, probably if I execute the full query, what should I do to see these changes also in Key4? I navigate again into my database, and right now I see the usual 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns for Key4V fsales. But if I click on sync, as you can see, the columns have expanded. This means that now, when I select the dimensions and the measures, I have more columns to choose between. Okay. So I have.
Can you send the query, please?
It's in the file, but I can paste it in the chat as well.
Yeah, that would be nice, because I couldn't find it.
I can also paste it. I think I still have it in my. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. How do we use the additional attributes? So for example, if we create a new spreadsheet, this is not an exercise that you need to do for the training. It's not mandatory, let's say. Aggregated dimensions.
We'll just enjoy the show.
Exactly. It's nothing difficult. So key for training Evaco, and I create a new template. So when I go here and I go into SQL datasets, now that I select F sales, I can decide to aggregate at a different level, like city and I don't know, product group, and select my measures, and I can also select the other ones as measures. So I can also take double gross sales. That was one of the calculated one. Remember that the calculated ones won't allow data entry. But in this case, what I wanted to show you is that I went play mode for no reason. When I go in template, now I can see data by city and product group. So information, so data has been retrieved for Berlin and coffee machines. So I can do a key for SQL. Here I can put, with right click on the dimension, I can set those as dynamic rows. So I can do a key for DIM1, key for DIM2, key for and here I can say, this time I don't need dollar signs because I do not have columns. And this way I create data by city and product group. So the attributes are used also to aggregate data. So if I check the query, you will see that the group by has been done by city and product group. Now, it's time to understand. Now, why can't I write back on these values already? There is a reason. The reason is that of the various columns, we need to group together the ones that belong to the same hierarchy. To do this, there is an extra metadata that we need to provide in form of views to key4, that are the key for H. Key for H, to allow the write back, need to be created. How many key for H need to be created? One for each primary key of the table we want to write. So product code, customer code, scenario code, tier number, and month number are my 5 primary keys. I need to create 5 key for H. The naming convention of the key for H, let's go to the slides. So we create the attributes, we created the fields, okay. So in each key for H, we need to put all the attributes of the selected primary key, and we need to call the key for H after the primary key. So while the key for V is named after the table name, the key for H is named after the primary key name. So I have 5 primary keys. I will create 5 key for H with these queries here. So let's go back to our Management Studio and let's write the queries. I should have the queries here. There is a file named key for H in the file I share with you. So I create the one for customer, for product, scenario, year, and month. So as usual, when I change anything into the database, what should I do? I need to go to database, my database, click on sync, and my new views appear here. So now key4 knows that the columns that we added here belong to the hierarchies of the various things. This way, write back is possible also at aggregated level. So if we take now your first dynamic spreadsheet, that is not this one because I don't remember which Evaco static. This one? No, this one is the last one. Sorry, guys. I have too many training done. And still not developed the folders. So there we go. If we take our first dynamic model as before, now we are able to type data at aggregated level. So these will save records also if we are not at deepest entity level. So it takes one record because I have only one value for year. But if I go to the first spreadsheet static, I can change the full year. Let's do this simply by doing this, and this will change 244 records. Okay.
So we also need the hierarchies for the static spreadsheet.
For everything, the hierarchies are not used in rendering, are used in data entry. While when I changed this number here to 216, whatever, etc., what happened in the back? It happens that this thing is no. Let's go to the dynamic one. This thing is allocating data proportionally. So okay, whatever. So 2 millions, whatever, save. So these saved 244 records by proportioning whatever it was there, so that the sum gives me 2 millions. So if I go back here and I select top 1000 rows, I change it 2023-01, and I'm using gross sales, I assume that is 8,000 something. If I change now the value from Q4 to 4 millions, again, the records are there, and I re-execute the query. Now the value is doubled, because each value contributing to that is adding up.
Okay, and that wasn't possible before we put in the hierarchy views?
No, it wasn't possible because we force. Honestly, it could be possible somehow, but how does Key4 work? When you save data, we create a table, a temporary table in the database. That's why we need DDL admin as privilege of membership. And then we create a syntax that is a merge statement that merges the data that you enter with the data that is inside, and it contains all the logic. This query is generic. It works on existing cells, and if you start from scratch, it also generates records in case you don't have. Okay? But to generate records, if you tell me the product group is 3 and the customer belongs to United States, I need to generate records in the original table by customer and by product. So I need to generate the combination that belong to United States and product group number 3. But this information needs to stay somewhere. I cannot rely on the fact table to have this information, because the fact table does not contain the hierarchy. So I rely on the Key4H. Okay. It can also happen that the Key4H is not necessary for some reason, or it contains only one column because that column is not a hierarchy or whatever. But the logic is very stupid. It's stupid to be as most generic as possible. So it's not checking, if you have one column, because it will generate too many errors. So the idea is, okay, I force you to create one hierarchy for each primary key, and that's it. This is a requirement. It's mandatory. Otherwise, you can only enter data at physical level. Okay, just like we were doing with the master table. Master table is physical level, doesn't need Key4H. If in the screen in which I have year and month, okay, in the screen in which I have year and month, I put selections of a single scenario, a single customer, a single product, I go in physical level, and it's not needed anymore. How do I understand if I am at physical level or at aggregate level? There is a stupid trick. You go under SQL. Whenever there is a group by, you are at aggregated level. Whenever there is not a group by, you're not at aggregated level. So if you see data entry failing, asking you for a dimension specific, so let's assume I delete a view, one of the key for age, I should get an error. So refresh. Let's rename the one by product code in whatever that E4 does not understand anymore. Now, if I try to data entry again, this is rounding, 5 millions, and I save, no, it works anyway because I do not select anything from product. I should delete the year probably. No, because I didn't sync. Okay. Yes. Because I didn't sync. Let me do.
Sync the connection string.
Yeah, sync the connection. Yes, because now it still have the information from before. Let's see if I can. It's the first time I try to break something and I don't get to. Usually I'm a master. No, I hope so. I hope it was like that, but it's simply that. No, it's simply that this case is too simple, so there is no need of hierarchy. So it might work, but in general, it can throw an error if you don't have the specific. Wait, I can do this way. If I try to do this on the other one that is relying on the hierarchies. How did I call the attack? No. Evac. There we go. If I try to do this, hopefully it throws me the usual error. Okay. Invalid column name. No, double cross sales cannot be entered because it's a measure that cannot be written. Let's use gross sales. Okay. Edit template. Edit SQL. Sorry, I'm taking gross sales. Save. And I go to the template to change also here from double gross sales to gross sales. Save. No, it's working anyway. I don't know how to break it now. Probably it's still cached, so I couldn't break it. Or this name is working anyway. But in general, you are forced to have this one. Otherwise, you usually get an error like cannot save, missing, and the name of the dimension. Now, I don't know why I don't get to break it. but that should break. Okay, so now we learned also how to create reports with several dimensions by row, by column. We created hierarchies, so now we have our nice reports with dynamic spreadsheet that retrieve data by row, etc., etc. Now, next step is how to filter data. So you come from the
before we start here, I have a question, because so we have actual data and budget data in one table.
In this example, yes.
In this example, but in the normal way, we have two tables with actual and budget data, or what is the idea?
It depends what you want to do. Okay. In this case, I put everything together because this way it's easier to create new scenarios. Okay. If you have one table with all the scenarios, including actuals, but probably actual is not necessary, it's easier to create because you can create like a new scenario by adding rows. If you have one table per each scenario, so actual, budget, to create a new scenario, you need to create a new table, and this is not ideal. Probably you're more used to have actuals on one table and then all the planning scenarios on another table that has an extra dimension. Here, I prepared these also with actual for the sake of simplicity in the training. Okay, because this way, because this training starts from data, shows you how to retrieve data. If I start with an empty budget, then it's difficult to show you, oh, this is how you retrieve, etc. So in that case, I should have start the training with an initialization, while I prefer to do the initialization later. In my opinion, it's on top of you to design the application the way you prefer, with actual and budget and separate tables in the same table. It's up to you, honestly. I don't question this design option. This is more about the technical part.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So it's time to filter data. So let's see. We created our view. We can do data entry. We cannot break the aggregate data entry. I don't know what happened. So we go under context. So as you have seen, all the queries that we have run do not have a where clause. Filters are meant to put some where clause here and there. There is another section of the model that is called context. Here we create context variables. There are two types mainly of variables. Some variables that are named after column names. So if you have a variable that has the same name of a column of a table that you're using, it will be used as a filter. If the name of the context variable does not match any of the column names, that is basically a parameter. Okay. When do we use filter? When do we use parameter? Filter, okay, it's obvious. I want to filter by region, by country, by year, by scenario, by whatever I want. A parameter can be, for example, something to drive the show or hide of some rows and columns. A parameter can be like a growth percentage to apply to a specific procedure. A parameter can be, I don't know, I want to create a new scenario named this way. The context items can be used both to filter, and both in the template and in the configuration. When I say the configuration, I mean that I can retrieve the value of a context not only here in these cells of the template, but also in all the gray cells of the configuration. That's why the configuration is done via spreadsheet, because every gray cells can be used as a parameter. So, exercise. Let's move to the context. And let's set a filter. So we open our dynamic spreadsheet. So I don't know if you have this one, the dynamic one. I added 2 rows. I don't know if you did, but in any case, navigate under the context with the edit menu. So filter context and start to fill one of the rows. There will be one row for each variable that we will use. So we give a name to the group.
On my it's gray, the context.
Because you are in play mode, you should be in edit mode.
Yes.
Okay, so if you move here, let's try to type some values. So panel. This is the section of parameter that we want to use. So we call it selection. This is a free name. You can type whatever you want. Parameter. Here we give the name of the parameter. If this one is the same of the name of a column, will be used as a filter. So if I want to filter by year, I need to call this parameter year, sorry, I'm on the wrong keyboard, year number. This is how the column is called in my table. I can give a friendly name for the user when they will see it, and I will call it year. This drives if the parameter is active or not. Type. We have several types. So single select that allows you to select one value per time, multiple select per time. Pure number, pure text. A switch that is used for Boolean, on, off, true, false, and stuff like that. The slide there is to set a number with the graphical object. Date is to select a date with a calendar, and then we have column switch, auto switch that are corner case. We will see it later on. So single select. We apply to context to filter. We can also apply to Launchpad if you want to use in procedures. We will see later on. Spreadsheet is a back-compatible feature that was applying parameters to named ranges, but I think we keep it only for back compatibility. Is not needed anymore. We will see it why. We give the list of possible values, 2023, 2024, 2025. I'm hard coding the values, but there is a way to get it from a table, a view, or whatever. We will see it later. For now, keep it like this. We can set a default value if we want. Once I save, and I move to, yes, the context panel will appear on the left. You can decide if by default it's hidden or shown, and the width. The width is in pixels, but if you want to be a proportion of the page, you need to put a number that is less than 1. So if I want to be it's like 20%, I put 0.2. Save. I go in play mode. Now the gray context that you had before is clickable, and this list appeared. As you can see now, it's only showing data for 2025. If I move to 2024, of course, 2024 data, 2023. Okay, a couple of things to say about the context. You're used to do this kind of selection also in Power BI or Qlik. Your question might be, what happened to when I have year num also in Qlik? I answer, the context coming from Qlik will overwrite this one that is internal in case they have the same name. So if I create year num also in Qlik and apply it to this model, the one in Qlik will win. So why would you put it here if you want? Because if you are developing and you want something quick and dirty in configuration, can be a good idea to put it here. Or if you want to plug the where clauses that also you are having in Qlik without having to select in Qlik, load data or stuff like that, you can do it from here. And this will filter. As you can see, the query is recalculated by putting the year number in the where clause. Did you manage to set this up?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so how much time do we have left?
20 minutes.
I'm a little bit behind. Okay. Worst
I
case,
mean, you were pretty fast, so.
Yes, probably I compressed it, but not enough. Okay, we can do a follow-up, guys. It's not a big deal. So let's move on. So this is how to get the context. Now we want to take it from a cached table. Okay, if I don't want to write the list manually here, but I want to take it from a table, it must be a cached table. So if I go in the database, you can see that I have two gray buttons, update and update all. These buttons are meant to update cached tables. We don't have cached tables because we don't have at least one key for V that is pointing to one of the dimension tables. How does Key4 distinguish between dimension table and other tables? Simply, the dimension tables are the ones that have a single primary key. Okay. If I have a single primary key, this is a table that I can cache. But I'm not using D here as a table. I have the key for H, but the key for H is not referencing the table, it's referencing the primary key. If I want to use the here as a cached table, I need to create a key for V. So I go here and I do create view key for V underscore D underscore here as select star from here. I think, as you can see, this one appeared. And if I zoom in a little bit, you will see that it has a slightly different icon compared to the other table. That small thing there means that this table can be cached. Here, you see, when I query data, it's telling me showing the first 100 records. But if I click on the table and click on update, here it tells you, hey, data is loaded from cache. Okay, so this table has been cached. So what does it mean? That we can use this in our model. I go back until I find the model, and in this case, to use it instead of our coding value, I go back in my context, I delete the values and the default, I take the connection string, my connection string, I select the table D underscore here, codes field is here num. I can also decide to have a label field if I have a code and description and to sort. If I save and I go play mode, my context changed. So I don't have data in 2022, but here you can navigate more years that are all the ones that are in the database. Okay.
Something broke in my model.
If you select 2022, it does not have any data. That's why it breaks. But if you select any other year,
okay. Oh yeah, okay. Maybe I chose the wrong context.
Want to share? So we.
No, I got it. It was like you guessed. Thanks.
Okay. So we avoid it by setting back the default to something. So 2025. This default can also be taken. There is an example on the manual from the current date, if you want. I don't remember the exact syntax, but look for it. Should be there. If you don't find, ask me. So this is how to take the context from somewhere, from a cache table. We can use this context. The context parameter can be used also into the spreadsheet itself. How? if I go to the template and I type the formula key for value, open parentheses, and I give the parameter name, this will retrieve the current value of the parameter. That can be used in if statements or whatever we want. So for example, let's assume we want to lock the data entry for all the years before 2025. I can do a formula like this. If this value is less than 2025, then -1, then 0. Okay, then I can take the formula of Key4SQL that I have and replace the editable parameter with whatever I get from this formula. So R1 is something I like. I lock it. I do the same here. R1. Okay. I copy this. I'm not seeing value because my sample is on 2025 and my context is on 2024. So I change the sample so I see something. So now I used the editable field to lock cells, because if I put anything less than 0 in the editable field, this cell is not editable anymore. To show it to you a little bit clearly, I will set the editable cell color to be orange and the locked cell color to be blue. Hopefully I didn't choose colors that are too nasty, but if I go play mode, now you will see that I locked something and not something else. Template, give me a second, here, R1, okay, and here, I forgot to copy this formula over, sorry, save. Okay, 2024 is locked. I cannot enter data. If I try, I get bounced. With the context, I select 2025. Now everything is editable. Okay. Of course, the colors that I've chosen are the worst choice.
I mean, they are our company colors. So.
Almost.
Yes, but
almost not in this exactly code, but orange and blue.
Okay, so I love them. Okay, okay. So, what is the takeaway of this? That we can retrieve context value in the spreadsheet with the formula key for value, and we give the year number. Now, I complete the context section, and then we will do a follow-up for store procedure, visual property, and embedding in Qlik. Last thing I want to show you is how to use a context value to change the configuration. And I will show it to you on an example that I have here, because we don't have time to create it together. Let's go. Time functions reporting. Okay. This is a report that is showing some orders value by month for this year and the previous year respect to the order date. But I can have the same report that reads from the billing date. Order dates and billing dates are on two different views. So when I switch these, I'm changing the views that are being retrieved. So as you can see here, if I show you the SQL query, this is selecting from this table, this view here, K4V or customer order time series, okay? While if I click on billing, you will see that the view is changing for the same data set. How did I achieve this? I achieved this by setting this parameter in the context that is named DT, data type. It has two possible values, order and billing. And when I go under SQL datasets, as you can see, there is a placeholder DT into Angular parentheses that in the moment I select something from the context will be replaced with the context value. This way the query will dynamically select the table order or billing depending on whatever I selected in the context. This syntax with the Angular parentheses can be used on every gray cell of the whole configuration. So Smart Drill, Launchpad, so if you want to change the drills, if you want to change any visual property, or whatever you want. So the context is both a filter and a parameter. So depending on what you need, you can use it both in configuration and spreadsheet. You can have as many context items as you want. And then remember that whatever you set up in the context as a filter can be overridden from outside when embedding in Power BI, Qlik, or any other BI tool. So I stop here for now. We will do a follow-up. Sorry, but I underestimated the time I would have needed. And before that, if you want to give me a feedback, is there something you want to see for the next training? Just let's use this 5 minutes for a small Q&A.
It would be nice if you could send me the demo. And I think with the you showed me earlier where to paste in the model ID in Qlik, and I guess I could just try that on my own, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You can try it on your own.
Yeah.
I send you the. Do you have Power BI so you can take inspiration? Okay.
Yeah.
I will send you the Power BI. Need to remove my credentials. But one thing I will send you also. Probably I already shared with you the manual and the guides, the platform guides, Julian. But remember,
yes, I think so.
If it's asking you for an API key or stuff like that, remember that you have it in environment or under license. You find the API key. So in my case, I do not have an API key, but if it asks it to you, you find it here. Other than that, should be straightforward.
Okay.
What about one thing? What about what we have seen today? Is it clear enough? Is there some section that you say, okay, can improve? I didn't understand that part. Is it too slow, too fast?
I think in general it was too fast. I mean, I could follow most of it because I already looked into some K4 functions from the older versions. But most of it's just like, okay, I know the functions and I roughly know how they work, but I would definitely have to watch this video again to really get it. And also to know like the edge cases where something works and something doesn't work anymore. It would be nice if we had more time to like experiment and find out when does it break, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Honestly, I do not have the answer of when does it break, because if I know that something is breaking, basically we try to fix it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe breaking was the wrong word. Just like when's the point that we as developers make a mistake, and the stuff you showed us in the training doesn't work anymore.
Yes, of course. Yes, this is the basic training. I'm also preparing some more advanced stuff, but okay, in my opinion, I first need to give you the basics like this, so that we speak the same language. Once we are on the same language, then we can do some more advanced stuff like outlining when to use. For example, we use dynamic rows, but it's not a good idea to use dynamic rows with 2 million rows. A spreadsheet does not contain 2 million rows, so it's up to 3,000-4,000 rows. Then it's too slow to be used. In that case, if you want some backup load, use the master table or whatever. Things like these can be discussed later on. But now we only miss a couple of pieces, like store procedures and embedding. After we have that, I think we can prepare a more advanced session. I will give you some time to think about it. So for next time, before scheduling, let's do this. I share with you the material, demo, whatever you need. Once you have that material, you think about the training of today and take your time to write down some questions. How do I do this? Send me the question in 1, 2, 3, 4 days, whenever you want, and give me another couple of days to prepare, and we will dedicate part of the next session to whatever you need to see. So, for example, from what we have seen, I tell you, in the demo, I have a small approval cycle. If you tell me, how do I build an approval cycle for this situation, etc., we can discuss about that part or stuff like that. So more functional. Now that the technical building blocks are clearer, I hope that are a little bit clearer than before.
For a basic understanding, it was very helpful. Thank you very much.
And now that we have these basics, we can start to grow also together, because the product is new, everything is new. So having also ideas from you on how to grow this training, the demo, etc., would be nice for me. Okay.
Thank you also from me. Was also very helpful. What do you think? How long will the basic training last? Like the second half?
Okay, considering that we did until log by year, we need to do from 30 to 50. We miss 10 slides out of 50, so 1/5 of this. We still need 1 hour of basic training. Plus, next time we will see each other, I think there will be at least another hour of recap, questions, etc. And then put another half an hour for questions, and that's it. So 2 hours and a half is more than enough for the next session.
Okay.
But then, guys, I can do all the training you want. You will discover that using it is the best way to go around. Other than that, I will share with you some other examples. So I have
the only thing that I would be happy about would be a folder structure, but you mentioned it earlier, I think.
It's in progress.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
So if you want, then I can also share with you other stuff like slow moving dimension stuff. So other inspirations. So this is a cost center hierarchy with comparison between the hierarchy today and how it was at a given point in time. So the current against the previous one. So I will give you some examples so that can inspire you to do this or that. Okay, cool.
I've got one
I think
more
I ran out of time. Yeah.
Because of the demo I'm going to show, if we get the project, we will probably implement it in this year. Could we then also use the new version of K4, or is it not ready?
We are already live in 4 customers. We didn't put in download for everybody already because we miss marketing material. It's in progress. So as usual, the development team has been faster of the marketing team as usual. They had, it's like my whole life. It's always urgent for today because the market needs it, and then when you're ready, they're never ready. It's always like this. But the version is ready. We have the documentation. I share with you documentation, Julian, correct? The manual.
Yeah, I think so. You shared some files with me. I think documentation is there too.
And also the Qlik extension, if I'm not wrong. Let me double check. I should have it in our community. Let's see. Group, you are Evaco Consulting. Documents. Here I share with you user manual. This is the Qlik extension. I didn't share with you the guide for Qlik. I will share it. I will share it now. But it's exactly the same.
Yeah. I downloaded to our K4 folder in Evaco, Moritz, so you can access it too.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
It's like in...
So we have one extension, or it's an extension for the old version and the extension for the new version. We have
the new version has a different version. One extension for the new, only one.
Yes, only one. So we have to decide if we use the old version or the new version.
Exactly. You cannot connect with the extension of the current version to the old version. Also because the new extension is not holding inside the metadata for models, etc., but is connecting there. But I think they can coexist in the same Qlik environment like mine. And also the K4 server can coexist. So let's assume one connects to the...
Hey! Sorry.
Okay, I will take that question. Okay, no. So the version can coexist. Don't worry. It's the same. So if I take my Qlik Sense environment, I have both the extensions. And for any problem, let's do this. If you want, we can create a Teams group as an external, invite me in a group with you, etc. So if you have problems or stuff like that, you can ping me, especially in this first part. Then after a while, when we will be stable, so you are masters, etc. For more important things, I will send you to the support portal. But at the beginning, for setting up, if you want, you can ping me directly. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay. I'm checking if I have both extensions here. I never. Yes, look, I have all the extensions since 2018 on this environment. So if you, so the new one is in parallel. So they are simply two different parts.
Yeah.
Okay.
We would just have to switch out the K4 server string because we have two servers now, the new one and the old one. But
yes. And Julian, I've shown you how to migrate the model from old to new version, correct? So the export import function. Okay.
Yeah, I can show that to anyone of you who's interested. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a nice rest of the day.
Thank you very
so
much.
much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.